Hey there, YouTube. We are all the way up to day number 30 out of 31 days of tarot hosted by Ethany. You can see in the description below a list of all the different prompts, and you can also check out the hashtag for what other folks have to say about this. So the question for day 30, do you carry out predictive tarot readings? Yes or no, and why? So this is an interesting question. I'll be curious what others have to say about it, because I think it kind of comes down to how you define predictive. So I don't use tarot as like, tell me what is going to happen, and if what happens doesn't match my interpretation, then the interpretation was wrong. Like that is not how I use tarot. But that's not to say that I don't ask questions about the future, and that's not to say that I'm not sometimes like, oh wow, that was pretty cool when something is suggested and the energy really matches what happens. So, for example, if I ask questions about what card is my teacher for the next week, or what energies are coming up, things like that, rather than necessarily saying like what is going to happen, or what choice should I make. For me, that kind of directness isn't really what the tarot is best at. I do, though, use outcome cards, and I know that there are some folks who like don't ever use a card for an outcome, or don't ever for example do like a year ahead spread, and I do use those. I find them really interesting. I mean, I think just as like cards to contemplate and cards that are going to be teachers, I really like that term, like teacher, because I think it's a teacher or an invitation that may or may not be obvious, even once the time has passed. And the same with the outcome. I think the outcome, like for example in a Celtic cross, a lot of times people say that compare the outcome card to the top card, the like conscious, external, whatever you want to call that, what you think is going on in the situation card. They'll use that as also like an alternative outcome. So I do like the Celtic cross, and I do use it, and I do use an outcome card, but I again, I think of it as kind of it's like if you ever like theorize, about time travel, it's the whole like, this is what would happen if all things were the same, but obviously people have free will, and so things will change. So I think it's like, here is a possible outcome, and rather than saying that's going to happen and therefore I'm not going to do anything, or that's going to happen and therefore I'm really excited or really sad, or that's going to happen and if it doesn't happen I'm going to be upset. I think of it more as, here's something that could happen and I should think about it, and do I want to like support or resist that possible outcome? So that's how I would think of predictive readings. I'll definitely be curious to hear what other people have to say on this topic. If you do enjoy this kind of thing, don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got one more day of the challenge, and then I will be continuing to post about one tarot video a week, as well as other topics on my channel.